How Noah and Kaiba and the Big Five were censored changed. Let's watch.
One of my favorite elements of Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is comparing the original subbed version with the English dub, and in today's video, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. We have done this censored/changed video for Marik's Rare Hunters.
Okay, I didn't know this was a whole series, but I feel like this is a good start. How Noah, Kaiba, and the Big Five were censored. I mean, it's a weird, because I feel like most people maybe don't remember this as fondly as our arcs. But let's see.
For Pegasus's player killers and for the Doma boys, and in this video we are going to be doing it for Noah, Kaiba, and the Big Five. And believe it or not, even though there is no original manga for this arc, there are still plenty of changes from the sub to the dub for some of the Big Five characters, and especially Noah Kaiba's backstory and his ultimate fate, which is massively different depending on which version of Yu-Gi-Oh! You are watching.
I like that. Actually, that is a very interesting point. That there is no manga version for this, right? This is anime original, so we can see the differences between actually what the dub did. Only what the dub did. Interesting.
Here's just a very quick example of the differences regarding Noah's tragic death in the real world before his mind was transferred into a supercomputer.
All right. Oh, okay. Okay. This is definitely getting demonetized, but sure. Oh, I never see this. See, that makes sense.
Is, my body was rendered useless, but my mind was still sharp as ever.
Clearly dead in the original version
this.
and in comatose in the dub version. And there are plenty of more changes to get to. Without further ado, let's begin. I hope you enjoy.
So this is how I find out that Noah is actually dead? This is how I find out? Interesting.
Starting with Gansley. So interestingly enough, Gansley is aware that Yugi and Yami Yugi are actually two separate beings in the original version. The English dub never actually acknowledges this. He might know that they're different versions, but it's not explicitly stated in the dub like it was in the original version. But his probably most significant change is just his general dialogue. In the original version, he is extremely philosophical, often going on war rants and talking about historical mumbo jumbo that is just way over my head. And in the dub, this is changed to him giving Yugi generic business advice, and there's obviously no mention of war or strategy to that sort of extreme.
Interesting. That's very interesting change. But I guess it makes sense that they will talk about business. But I will have to know what exactly he was talking about when talking about history.
Next up is the Penguin.
He's a really military guy. That's, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's so funny.
And Crump. So in the original version, Crump used to work in human resources, but this occupation was changed in the dub for some reason to make him an accountant. I think the most understandable change from the original to dub is the creepiness of his character, which is much toned down. In the original version, he must refer to Anzu as a 16-year-old girl like a dozen times, which really drives home how
what the fuck?
creepy of a dude he is, especially when you consider he is a 55-year-old man and specifically states multiple times that he wants to duel Anzu to try to steal her 16-year-old high school girl body.
Understandable change there.
I think that says all it needs to. It's borderline uncomfortable watching him in the original version. He makes multiple comments about Anzu's outfit and how it's inappropriate for the cold. He's just a pervert, to be completely honest with you, and that part of his character is pretty much completely removed in the English dub, and I think this is one of those very understandable and almost welcome censorships that the
rare W there. Actual welcome censorship, insane, but you know, makes perfect sense that this is the one time that is welcome.
English dub made in this arc. Next up, we have Johnson, a lawyer in both versions, and honestly, after watching his duel against Joey in both versions, I really have nothing to say here, besides the normal addition of puns that you would expect in any Yu-Gi-Oh! English dub. There's not any major character changes or censorships that I could identify. Next is Nesbit, and honestly, same thing as Johnson. Nothing really to note here in terms of major character changes. Again, the fact that we don't have an original manga for this arc to look at means that we can't make a three-way comparison like we could for the player killers and the rare hunters. So if there isn't any notable changes from the subbed version to the dubbed version, there's not really anything to talk about. The last Big Five member is Lecter, and there is certain...
Oh no, okay, this is the most memorable one, I think. This is the most memorable. This is the Jinso guy, right?
Certainly a bit to talk about for him. So 3 out of 5 for the Big Five ain't bad. The iconic Southern drawl is obviously a dub-only thing and not present in the original.
You used me, just like you use everyone, including your little brother.
Lecter in the original was a weapons dealer for Kaiba Corporation.
Okay.
He sold weapons to foreign countries. One of my loose theories has always been that he was maybe involved in what directly led to the trauma that Imelda had to suffer through in the Doma arc, since obviously that was a big storyline with Kaiba Corporation and weapons that killed Imelda's younger brother, but that's just a theory. Obviously, we know that any sort of weapons dealing would probably not fly in the dub, and so the dub simply changed him to be Gozaburo's right-hand man, which I guess made the duel between him and Seto Kaiba a little more personal.
So he wasn't the right-hand man? Okay.
The dub. Before we get to Noah, I think it's important that we talk about what happens to the Big Five after they are defeated by Yugi and Joey. It's actually a slightly different fate depending on which version you are watching. Here's what happens in the original.
教えてあげるよ。このバーチャル世界に本物など一つもありはしないのさ。
All of that was that? Like all of that was there is nothing real in this virtual world?
一つもありはしないのさ。
Dead. Noah explicitly deletes them from the virtual world, and they are killed off in that moment.
Okay.
Well, we know the dub doesn't love explicitly doing death, so let's see what the dub did.
I think I'll imprison each of you in a different corner of my world. Forever.
Love to see that.
Sealed away. Now, when the virtual world explodes about 6 episodes after this, it's heavily assumed they are dead at this point, so same end result, but it is so typical of the English dub to make death more of a assumed matter rather than a definitive one like the original version often does.
I guess here it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes in other animes like One Piece, like it actually like makes like when they censor like deaths and they are like, oh yeah, they didn't die, I didn't shoot them in the face, I just point at them, and then it just assumed that they are in prison or something now.
Last character we are taking a look at is Noah Kaiba, and he has the most changes of any character in this video. As we talked about during the intro, his tragic past is changed. He was hit by a car and died in the original. We see a lot of shots of the doctor's office and the medical room and Gozaburo begging to try to save Noah. All of this is completely cut in the English dub, and in the English dub, it's very blatantly stated that his body was rendered useless, which basically just means he's in comatose. You might also remember all the religious mentions in the original version of the duel, Shinato's arc, him acting out the 7 days of the Bible. Well, all of this is removed in the dub, as religious symbolism usually is. To show his father how smart he is, Noah proposes that he can wipe out almost all of Earth's population using Kaiba Corp's current assets and missiles.
What kind of plan is that? Yeah, like when they censor Kuina's death for Sora's backstory, where she legit just fell down the stairs one day instead of gave up the sword after being beat. I don't remember. Yeah, I actually don't remember. The One Piece censorship was a special level of bad. Yeah, no, definitely. I always thought Shinato's arc was a mix of Shinto's and biblical. Yeah, I have no idea. Noah went playing Metal Gear here.
This doomsday proposal is removed in the dub, and instead, he talks about how he can improve their software, which is much more generic and much less sinister. And another big difference has to do with what I just mentioned. When Gozaburo shows up after Noah is defeated by Yami Yugi, Gozaburo states that he is going to put Noah's plan into action, which in the original version is to wipe out most of Earth's population. This was something that, again, was not a plot point at all in the dub, and in the dub, Gozaburo's goal was just to digitize the entire human race into the virtual world arc.
Interesting. I wonder what is the
by using the Kaiba Corp satellite. Well, we all know Gozaburo's plans didn't work in both versions, thanks to Noah Kaiba having a change of heart and stopping him. But did you know his fate is completely different depending on which version you are watching? In the original version, it is 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, obvious that Noah has died when the virtual world is blown up. In fact...
Does it happen in the dub? What happened in the dub? Fun fact, Yugi and Kaiba and Noah is the longest duel in terms of turns. Interesting. I had no idea. He basically wanted to control the world by bringing everyone into the... Oh, okay. That actually makes more sense than, you know, killing everyone.
Noah even admits he's been dead this whole time when he stops Gozaburo. But remember, in the dub, Noah was never technically dead. So when he goes to stop Gozaburo in the dub, he talks about how he will free Gozaburo's mind so he can't hurt anyone anymore. In the original, Gozaburo responds to this by yelling that he doesn't want to die, whereas in the dub, he just yells at Noah, saying he can't keep him trapped in the virtual world. And finally, in the end, the virtual world server is destroyed and blows up as our main crew just get away from the explosion in a blimp. Everyone mourns Noah's death. Kaiba empathetically calls Noah a fool, and Mokuba throws a flower into the ocean to pay respects to his fallen brother. Well, you see the pattern here with death removal. Here is how the English dub handled Noah's death.
Do you think his mind was deleted when the computer was destroyed?
Knowing him, he saved his mind on a backup file.
Yeah, I bet he'll be back.
Me too.
I bet he'll be back. Yeah, no, he's so smart. He totally is out there somewhere. He has to. I assume he died as well as in the dub. Oh my god. I'm not even kidding. That duel was 41 turns long. Which is ridiculous because Zero duels Noah first, then Yugi takes over. Oh, I get it. This is such a funny thing to do. Like, oh yeah, no, he's out there somewhere. There is no way.
See you around, Noah!
Yeah. So not only did the English dub remove Noah Kaiba's definitive death, but it actually heavily implies that Noah is not dead, and even maybe foreshadows that he will return at some point in the story. They also remove the final shot where we see Mokuba's rose lying on the ocean as we hear Noah Kaiba's voice say, "I'm a human, not a machine," which is one of my favorite lines in the entire series. I think it is such a hard-hitting line that perfectly encapsulates the horror that Noah Kaiba had to go through thanks to his father and thanks to the virtual world. And the dub completely removes that, implies that Noah probably survived, which is certainly a choice and one of the craziest changes in this entire arc. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up. Those were changes and censorships made to the characters of Noah Kaiba and the Big Five. We still have a big video to do for DM before we move on to GX, and that is the freaking Millennium World. I don't know when this video is going to be out. It's going to be a big one. The amount of changes
I guess we're watching all of those
in this arc are insane, from the manga to the original to the dub. Honestly, just the manga to the original, you could do a whole 30-minute video on. But ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you feel like I missed anything notable, please let me know down below in the comments, and let me know any thoughts you have on all of the changes that were made down below in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you down below, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.
That was a very cool video, very informative. I really liked it. I really liked it, and I didn't know it was that different. I didn't know, but at the same time, even though I didn't know for a fact, it's the kind of things that I assume that, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it's like, yeah, nothing was like that surprising. It's like, it's funny to think about, but it just makes sense. Except the penguin thing. The penguin thing, I was like, wait. I can't believe that that is a thing that happened. Yeah. The Millennium World arc will be a lot more interesting, since, like I said, in the dub, they still talk about slaves, genocide, and such. Oh yeah, you're right. That will be probably one of the ones with more censorship, right? So yeah, that makes sense. If it's weird to say manga and the original anime when the manga is the source. Yes. Though in GX they did straight up said the vampires got genocide. Who knows at this point? Who knows? Anyways, cool video. Thank you for recommending it.